In the ashes of the end rises the Doomsday Queen.
Hi, welcome back in, you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Holy cow, there is a bunch of you guys in here. Welcome in, welcome in. If you have not checked out the latest video, you should go and check that out. Come back in or watch it right after this live stream. Make sure you slam that thumbs up button. Welcome in. Hey, stay survived. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, Alaya. Welcome in. Code Red. We got a whole mod squad in here. Can we get a W in the chat for all of the moderators? They keep these live streams going good and keep all the creeps and weirdos out. Welcome in. All right. So first up, I just wanted to give a heads up. The sale that is going on with JASE ends tonight. It ends tonight. So at the end of, if you're checking out the $20 off, it will be done tonight, and then you'll only get the $10 off. So if you were looking at getting a year's supply of antibiotics, I would do this tonight. I would not hesitate. I would not wait, or you're going to pay $10 more, and nobody wants to do that. Now, let's talk about what's going on with the supply chain and everything else that's going on in the world, because things are getting dicey and we are being gaslit into think everything is going to be fine. We all know that the world is getting a little bit dicey out there. A little bit dicey. Jack says, not me. Don't test the mods. They're kind of crazy. All right. You just received your third case. Let's go. I'm all about antibiotics. That is one thing. Did I have the countdown stop at 15 seconds? I have no idea. I just run it however the computer says to run it, and that's where we end up. I'm glad that you got your JASE case. That is amazing, because then you get antibiotics. You can get ivermectin. You can get albuterol. You can get so many, medications from across. The countdown stopped at 27. Internet issues again? I don't think so, Carrot Top. I don't think so. Oh, I wonder if it's paused on them. If you guys are paused on, go out and come back in. Bob said, I just got in from a massive haul. We only have a short time before people start realizing what is going to happen. We know antibiotics are going to be it's going to be rough. That is amazing. Aloha, Jay. If you are from Canada in here, I did talk to Nate, and he still has a supply of potassium iodide for all of you guys. He cannot ship to the US due to all the tariff crap. So I did link it down below, and it's like 60% off. So if you're in Canada and you have not stocked up on some radiation medications such as potassium iodide, I would definitely say go to his link in his shop. You can get 60% off. The Australian Prime Minister is making a national address tonight at 7 p.m. So is Trump. I actually just received, I believe on Wednesday, tomorrow at 9 p.m., he is going to be doing an address to the nation. So we're going to find out what Trump's got in order for us. Welcome in, Chris. I hope you like it here. Ooh, Marsha is finding a ton of generators. Absolutely. If you do not follow him, you should go give him a follow. He is absolutely great. I wonder what Australia's prime minister is going to make. I wonder if it's about the... Yep, Bobstar just said it too. Holy cow. I wonder if he's going to be addressing the fuel crisis, because we know once we get into this fuel crisis and more leaders come out, it's going to amp up prepping. My mannerisms remind you of Drew Barrymore. You are not the first person to say that to me. I think it has something to do with I have very long hair and I am very expressive in my face. Holy cow, a lot of you guys think I remind you of Drew Barrymore. All right, all right. Good afternoon. Punky Monkey, I was just reading off that message you had sent me. I'm so glad that you sent me that. Mike J says it is working good. That's amazing. How did the interview go today? Hello, Angel Heart. Welcome in. Kim wants to know how the interview went. So, the first interview was an introduction interview with the BBC. And then tomorrow, I guess I'm going to be interviewed with other preppers. And I'm hoping I will do you guys right and do justice for our community. Interesting. Oh, nice. We're gonna see how it goes. I feel like a lot of times when I talk to people who are interviewing, they get this idea that preppers were crazy. And I don't know. I think it's going to be live. It is like a radio talk show with the BBC. So they said that they're going to give me a no, this is not a stock market channel, NASCAR. They're gonna give me a link, and so I'll make a post about it so you guys can go see it. Toad Catcher, there is no code with Jace, but when you click my link at checkout, it should give you $20 off tonight. I try to make it not, I mean, I am pretty doomsday, but I try not to bring us bad casting light when it comes to prepping because our grandparents prepped, our, you know, this has just been a way of life forever, but ever since certain TV shows and so on and so forth, they want you to, you know, think that it's uncomfortable or that we're a bunch of weirdos. There's a new trend right now on TikTok and it's prepping like a crazy prepper without being a crazy prepper. And sadly, I'm going to have to humble that heart because most of us preppers were not the ones stacking our carts to the ceiling during the pandemic. All of us had a supply. We were not the panic buyers. And we need to really make sure that people understand that when people panic, that's panic buying. That's not prepping. Now that's somebody trying to fill gaps because they were freaked out. It wasn't us going in and buying 600 pounds of rice in one go. We try to break it up into different intervals, doing mylar. We're going to be doing a lot of mylaring. It's important that everybody understands that this is completely normal and it's not weird behavior. It's a self-insurance plan and it's an insurance plan that you don't have to contact an insurance agent and ask them if you're covered for whatever reason you prep for. Job loss, financial strain, surgeries, doomsday, grid down, economical collapse, fuel economical collapse, nukes, zombies. It could be all kinds of different things. Yeah, none of us were the ones fighting in Walmart. And I need people to understand that we were not the ones fighting. We already had our crap on lockdown. We prepare for every single thing, whether that means when my kid's playing football and somebody gets injured and they're looking for a first aid kit and I can reach into my bag and just pull one out, or if a natural disaster happens. Some of us are prepping for a good time. Let's go. Yep, I did see that, Patricia. He will be doing a speech on the 1st at 9 p.m. Now, we've got a lot of things to cover and we got to get over them really, really quick. If you haven't started a victory garden, I am going to beat that into your brain until you do. Victory gardens are going to be so incredibly important because we know the food supply chain is going to fill that squeeze. Does everybody in here know what the squeeze is when I'm talking about it? Gas prices go up, trucks start moving out, and that starts to squeeze because nobody is going to be able to financially afford what's going to happen. Patricia says for pulling out of the war. Maybe, but we don't know. From what I heard on his post today, he said we got at least 3 or 4 more weeks, so maybe. Ma'am, be respectful. What do you mean? How am I not being respectful? Welcome in, Nutter. Oh, Lynn still has snow. Oh my gosh. Are you way up north? Oh, see, now here's one thing. I can't see what's going on the other screen. I trust my moderators, but please be respectful. If they mute you, it was probably because you started spamming. Did you see the US hit the nuclear plant? Yes. Oh, wait, I have to say it correctly because people get really, really mad. But then I have now a clip from a linguist, a professional linguist. You can say nuclear or you can say nuclear. There's linguists out there that have completely debunked that. Lynn, you're from Canada. If you are looking for potassium iodide, Nate still has a ton in his shop. I think he has like 1,000 left, and I linked it down below because obviously the border and the tariffs have made things really hard for shipping. Ooh, that is such a good prep right there for people to understand. Just picked up engine oil filters for a few changes. Expect the prices to go up. Auto parts in general will probably go up, especially with a lot of our automotive. Why does that sound weird? Automotive parts are going to become very, very expensive. Somebody said that I say it like Bush said, and now I like cringe when I think about it. I did see the Tiva Medical did get blown up today, and that is alarming. I don't see this war calming down any point soon. Welcome in, Esteban. Hello, hello. I have to personally go out and get new tires. Mike J was with me this weekend. Him and his sweet wife Stacy. While we were working on the property, I ended up getting a flat tire, a hole right through the center of my tire, and now I have to replace that tire because I'm running on a spare. Thank goodness Jeeps actually have decent spares. Gas is $8 in San Diego. All right, everybody in here, let me know how much is your gasoline. Gringa said she received the potassium iodide a couple days ago. I love that. Anonymous, I've only been live for 13 minutes, so you haven't missed much. Talking about automotives, tires went up. I know, 5%. I'm just replacing all 4 of my tires and keeping the other 4 that I already have as spares, just in case. I do a lot of off-roading, and tires come like candy sometimes. Yes, Tiffany. The link I have posted is for everyone that's in Canada because I know I have a very heavy following in Canada here and on TikTok. And so I want to make sure that they can get theirs because not everyone's going to have the same access. Gas went down in Cincinnati. That's amazing. I have only ever been to a Trader Joe's once in my life. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, we're going to get ready to do a rapid fire on the news right now. Oh, there's so much going on. I don't see this slowing down at all. I don't know about you. I want to know. Actually, there is 209 of you guys in here. Do you think the war is going to be ended on April 1st? How many thumbs up are we up to? The last one I saw an update on is Donald Trump. President Donald Trump said 2 to 3 weeks to end the war. Israel's been intercepting missiles from Yemen. We do know that part of the Red Sea is being closed. It's not completely closed, but it's not looking good. Optimistic, glass half full. Dan says, I bet he will send ground troops. Well, I pray for my husband and all of his friends that they're not sending them. I know there's been so many civilian sites that have been attacked. I mean, we got water infrastructure, we've got power plants. I mean, so much has been going on. It's just insane. Asian markets are rallying because Trump set a timeline to end the war. I find it interesting, though. They said that they had till the 6th, and then now it's saying 2 to 3 weeks. So do you think we're going to see another extension? Welcome in, Chrissy. Potassium iodide. Gretchen, great question. I pray there's no draft. What do I use as a home water filter? I have a Berkey, and then I also have a water machine. My water machine is glass, but it also has like 10-year filters, and I really love it. And I have like 3 of them just in case. Yep, WD. Iran did make some threats to attack a bunch of US tech giants. Yep. It's been a little intense. The US claims attacking underground military targets deep inside of Iran. Those B-2 bombers are having way too much fun. I doubt he'll pivot this time. Wave his magic wand and there will be 6 more weeks. Now, as he gives out his blatant statements on his social media accounts, I want everyone to really think about this. The moment that comes out and it comes to light, that is when we'll see the panic buying. So right now you have your time. If you're looking for antibiotics, you want to save $20, it ends tonight. I would do it tonight because after today, tomorrow will be only minus what, $10 off each kit. Nancy, I agree. It is infuriating. I do not know how to reply to comments anymore on here. I'm still learning. Does somebody want to give a class on it? Aussie PM will announce oil or COVID oil lockdowns. I think we're going to see energy lockdowns. Have any of you guys been reading up on what's going on with the energy? I think we're going to see an energy lockdown. That would be awful, and I would hope not. Unhinged, they're saying that they're trying to avoid panic here. Yes. Oh, you did on sleeper cells? I feel like as this war progresses, sleeper cells will be activated. Oh, yes, the climate lockdown. You know, the 15-minute cities, the 5-minute cities. But a lot of people are not talking about it. 30% of the global fertilizer comes through that strait. And we know everything has been extremely delayed. And while it's been extremely delayed, we're in the grow season. It's alarming. And it may not hit everywhere this year because they might have fertilizer from the previous year, but it is still coming. I think it's gonna do a lot with the data centers. I agree with you, RD. I agree. It's going to be with the data centers. It takes so much water. It takes so much energy. We're gonna see things. They're gonna start giving you limits, how cool you can keep your house in the summer, how hot you can keep it in the winter. That is when we're gonna see these massive energy spikes. AI is an absolute dumpster fire, and I hate it to my core. 30%. What about the other 70%? Math's not mathing. Well, they're distributed everywhere. A big portion came from Ukraine and Russia, and during the war, when they started their war there, it hit the supply chain, and that's one of the reasons why you saw 135% increase in your food. There is some countries in Africa that are completely 100% reliant on that strait. A lot of people do not know that. In your city, they're introducing drones as first responders. What the actual hell does that mean? Who in here hate AI? I'm so curious. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. We have 235 of you guys in here. We make our own fertilizer too, but not every single farm distributor throughout the country does the exact same thing. I hate it with a passion also. You stand against AI, so do I. AI, it's bleh, bleh. Yep, but not every single company does the same thing, and not every single person out there has the ability to grow all of their own food. That is a fantasy. If everybody had enough land to grow all their own food, there would be no land, which we already know. And land is very rare to come by now. Those high density housing, apartments stacked on apartments, condos stacked in on where condos are. The bus-sized drones everywhere in Massachusetts. Is that a thing? Have I ever watched the show Jericho? Yes, and it's actually one of my favorite shows. I think it was way before its time, and if they rebooted it, it would be viral. What do you think about growing microgreens? Microgreens are excellent. They're a great source of nutrients. I think everybody should practice those. I grow microgreens for my chickens. Makes them happy and they lay a lot of eggs in the winter. Who in here has seen Jericho and who hasn't seen Jericho? You're not lying. It is my big red flag. Chrissy, you're not supposed to tell YouTube about my flaws. I'm just kidding. Yes, big fan. Big fan. Never seen it. It's about a nuke hitting and the grid goes down and EMP goes off and it's talking about contamination. When people start to panic, when you start seeing communities start to fringe from the outside inwards, people wanting to take, oh, you should watch it. If you've never watched it, I highly suggest it. The second season kind of sucked, but the season one was absolutely amazing. Season two is when they gave their announcement that they were going to end the show. And I think it rushed the writers to write it down real quick, unfortunately. But Jericho was absolutely amazing. Also, a good one is Goodbye World. That is a good sleep movie for me. It's something I feel very passionate about, especially when I am teaching people and even helping my husband learn different trades and different skills. He used to get really irritated at me and then he opened up his mind to it, but I'd be like, "I'm teaching you this because if I'm not here, you need to know how to do this." And then he's now the same way. When he's teaching me something, I need to know how to do that because what if he's not there? The producers can't decide to cancel and there was no, yeah, I mean, it was left open, but I feel like they really did rush it because a lot of the dialect had changed during season 1. You don't have TV? I don't have TV either. I like my DVDs and my VHSs. Oh, I don't really have a lot of streaming services. I've been cutting them down because I feel like they drain your bank account and you can do a lot more with your money when it comes to prepping. I know a lot of you guys were asking about BBC. The big one, the big interview is tomorrow, and I am as nervous as can be. I hope I represent our community well. And, every time I go into these, I know that they're going to try to make us look crazy. I know that they're going to try to do a question that could potentially be be a click for a short or social media. So I try to remain very calm and very concise when I'm talking about practical preparedness. They really want to talk about World War III and what that means for people. And so we're going to be talking about, you know, the supply chain, oil prices, the world is very volatile right now. It's not stable. There's a lot going on. I do fine to a point. I do have like a ritual when I do it. Chrissy sent me a shirt. It is a ball canning shirt that I actually wear around when I do interviews and I pace. I do like figure eights. You got your Jace case at 11:59. Yes. There we go. I was trying to make sure that you guys get that $20 off. I know it's 10 p.m. here right now, so you still have time if you're in this area, Mountain Standard Time, to get your Jace case. It gives you 20 bucks off. And so you want that. People who aren't prepping are crazy or in denial. I agree. I'm flabbergasted seeing people like plan trips or like they're booking like trips in September and I'm like, "Oh, this looks a little crazy." Jericho had talked about Iran and North Korea. Oh, we don't really do politics in here. We do more geopolitical, just as a heads up. Left and right keeps everyone divided, and I actually prep for civil unrest and civil disturbances. I think that everybody that like screams and yells at each other back and forth, you're actually one of the people I prep for. The king is very sick. Oh, I didn't know that. Is it really on YouTube, the whole series? Maybe I'm watching that tonight. Who in here has started convincing or started seeing family members or friends that are interested in prepping? Posting things, liking reels, we all see it. Instagram, Facebook, you name it. My mods are the quickest mods ever. Like when I say my mods make the lives go round, they do. Mike and Chrissy have been modding for me forever. Same with Kelly. Same with, like, I am telling you right now, Joey, all of them, the original OGs, and then Code Red and all of them, I'm calling them my second wave. Serena, all of them, they're coming in. They are quick. JASE Medical just joined the chat. Oh, welcome in, welcome in. We were actually just talking about you. Were your ears ringing? How It Ends is good. Ooh, Curtis Lee, I might have to watch that one. Yeah, our mods absolutely. Oh, Jesus. They were burning. I was telling them that the sale that's going on where you can get $20 off your JASE case is going to end tonight. So if they have been thinking about it, I would do it now, because who doesn't want to save 20 bucks? That's one big one on me. Ooh, I'm a prepper and my daughter has always made fun of me. Last week, she bought a bug out bag for her and her kids. Send her my children's video. The children's one, she can alterate it to exactly whatever ages her kids are. Toadcatcher did get his JASE order in at 11:59. You got to have premium. Oh, I should probably get a premium account. I've been prepping for some weeks and I had to lean into my beans and stuff. Food is just so expensive. Paid property taxes and it was a rough few weeks. That is one of the reasons we prep. Right there. One of the things we like to do in our rotational pantry is we'll lean into the food that I know that I need us to get cleared out prior to holidays. I am not going to go out and spend a buku amount of money on my kids during the holidays. We are going to use a set budget and we dip into our food reserves, and then we're able to allocate that money towards our kids. Or, for instance, different things going on the property. Can you get JASE case via prescription so it's covered under insurance? So you are getting your own prescription. They fill it and ship it to your house. Now, the reason why you can get a year's supply of antibiotics is because they are bypassing insurance companies. Insurance companies are the ones who don't want you to have a year's supply. So they're giving the power back to the people. They do accept HSA, FSA, and I'm going to misquote. It's either Afterpay, I think, or Affirm. I can't remember. JASE, which one is it? Chris just got his JASE case delivered today. How do you sign up? It is the very first link down in the description of this live. I think we have like 2 hours till that. Afterpay. Somehow or another, I closed this out. I am so sorry. We're back. We're back. Silent was like, I thought she died. No, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm back. We're back. I have 3 JASE cases for my hub and me, and bought an extra one if somebody needs. That's a round of applause right there. You got your dad into prepping and you're so happy about that. I don't blame you for being so happy about that. I would be. When I hear now, I'm finding out people that have followed me forever, like people I know in my real life on Instagram, they were like, can you show me how to do food preservation, water preservation? Like people reaching out to me personally. And I was like, absolutely, let me teach you. So I have a class that I'm going to be teaching this weekend where I go over and I show people, a whole group of them, how to do it. So they do it for themselves. So we're not worried about them. And we're going to lower that 90% ratio that they say when the grid goes down are going to die. We are trying to lower that person by person. The more people that are prepping, the less we have to worry about. Turned into a radio show for a minute. Maybe I should host a radio show. It'll be Doomsday Prepping at Night. Thank you so much for tuning in to 103.9 ZZRF Preppers Unite. Don't get me started with my Surrey voice. Ooh, the base case JASE are suitable. Any additions I would add? I would add the $30 ivermectin. That is one of my absolute favorites. They have Tamiflu, the off-brand of it. Hold on. I can never remember. Does somebody remember what the off-brand of Tamiflu is? Every time I catch the flu, I never can get the doctor to prescribe it to me in the time frame I need. I got the voice for it. Robert says, podcast. Let me grab my JASE case. Hold on. I moved mine earlier. That's fine. You guys are catching me in my sweats. Don't judge. Where is my case? This is my case is over here. I already know. Because I just got back from the property. I take my antibiotics everywhere. This is my mock-up case. Let's fix that. All right, we fixed her. No, we did not. What is going on? Hold on. Kind of getting there. All right, I'll show you what it is. I'm going to cover my name. It's the OSELTAMIVIR. I will never be able to say that. Thank you. Chrissy said it. That's the off-brand. That one you can add on. And I think it's great. Move the camera down a little bit so you can see better. Is that better? Or does that look weird? Lynn, that is what's one of the most amazing things about prepping is you can find so many different items out there that you didn't even know was possible. I am baffled to find out that people do not know that they can get a year's supply of antibiotics. If you are in the US or in Canada, you can use my link right below that says JASE, and you can get your own medications just sent to your house to have on hand for any emergency. My husband is in Africa. He's on his way back. I think he's leaving Paris right now, right around there. He got bit by something and it got infected. Guess what? He got to use his JASE case. That was one of the reasons why we made sure that he had his JASE case, all of his add-ons, the parasite kit. He got bit by something on his ear and it is inflamed, horrible. And then something on his leg, and he is actually treating it right now. Ooh, after watching Jericho, you'll think twice about your neighbors. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I try to cut down people who not cut them down, like not verbally cut them down, but cut down on the people who don't know how to prep and how easy it is. Can you bring your cats onto your live? They're probably just running around behind me. They're not very social. Trump's going live right now? This late? Chrissy, will you double check that for me? Does he know what bit him? Nope. Water is going to be a huge issue in cities right now. So that's one of the reasons why today you'll see first basic level water preservation, right? We're just talking about purification with bleach. Tomorrow will be pool shock. Oh, Mike's giving warnings. Be respectful. I don't know who he muted, but watch your tone. Prussian blue. This is for the real stuff. You need a prescription. A lot of people don't know that. There is a lot of knockoff brand stuff out there. And sometimes I just want to encourage you guys to do your research. Thank you so much, Code Red and Chrissy. We're on it. Now, if you are in Canada, there is a link down below to Canadian Prepper's site. He has 60% off potassium iodide. You can get that there because almost everywhere is sold out. Some people are still able to find some on Amazon. I know JASE is sold out. I know that there's a few other companies that are sold out on it. And I highly recommend every single person has some on hand. The JASE support team is the absolute best. I agree. Are you scared you would become targeted by others where you live if the world came to a collapse and disaster? Yes and no. So there's two ways to look at this. So I live in Utah, which kind of is a whole different variant itself. Have you guys watched the show Homestead? Who in here has seen the movie Homestead? I did a review on it a while back. I had different takes on it than other people, and it was such a good show. But there was a lot of flaws in it. Okay, Trump's address is tomorrow night. That's what I thought, Dusty. Thank you so much for checking. Now, the one unique thing about Utah that a lot of people don't know is most of Utah preps. It is part of their religion. It's part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They encourage emergency preparedness, and so many people actually prep. So I do all of this, right? But my neighbors here, they have a freeze dryer. My neighbors there have a freeze dryer. My neighbors over there have a freeze dryer, and I've helped them with their food. I know that they have a bunch, and I'm not as worried as I am when I've been in other areas. Most people have some sort of food storage. Oh, the TV series. I just finished it up, Steven. Oh, it gets good in there. Yep. And the LDS wrote a very good book on preparedness. There is LDS stores that you can shop on to get a lot of freeze-dried food. Oh, by me posting? Well, here's a fun fact. I'll let you guys have kind of the hint, the fact behind it. Every article, because I post and I've been featured worldwide on different articles. I've been posted everywhere, podcasts, different TV shows, different things. I've done this for a very long time, and I teach a lot of classes on it. I never talk about where my location is. I make the companies actually say I'm from Salt Lake City. And if people want to go search there, you have a better chance of raiding a Walmart or a CVS or a grocery store than trying to come here. That would be like a fantasy of my husband's and mine, and our PTSD would love it because we could play Marco Polo with night vision for funsies. And same with our kids. Like, our kids would love that. No, it was a great thing that you brought that up that way. And that's one of the reasons why it's like, yes, there is a risk. No, I don't show you guys my entire house. I don't really show. I take a lot of different protocols, and then I have two different locations. But that's why I always suggest, I'm like, there's werewolf preppers. We've all heard about that is, hey, werewolf preppers, they're going to hunt you down and get you. There is so many tactical bad aspects on that is realize if you're trying to go into somebody else's home, they know their home like the back of their hand, and especially in the dark. Jace, do you remember when a show said I was in New York, that people were saying I was in New York City? And I was like, go ahead, go raid me in New York. That's fine. Yep, Jason. Okay, so he says, I have a lot of LDS neighbors in Nevada and learned a lot about food storage from them. It's because it's very openly talked about here. Very, very, very openly talked about. Do you have a water supply? Do you have tanks inside your house to have water storage? I know almost every person's how much water they have stored up. Um, I'm reading. Oh yeah, if they value their own things instead of their own hide, I agree with that. Hey, Michael, let's not be fighting with people because I hate to tell you, I'll probably always take my mod sides. So please tone it down and let's try again. This one right here. You should never tell preps to other bad times. I don't know where that came from. You shouldn't talk about your own preps, but you should be talking about prepping because prepping has actually been around for generations. I've done this before. Let me turn you guys so you can see. You see those number 10 cans up there? They're a little bit teal over there. That is a normal thing. Those are from my grandparents' supply. Food preservation, gardening, canning, these are all skills that should be shareable and not gate kept. Ooh, it always messes up with the lighting. It will tone down. It will tone down. That is one thing I have heard a lot is the UK prepping is still spoken with an underbreath giggle, but it's growing now exponentially. And that is one thing I was learning from the BBC today as they said, okay, give a mute. Michael, we're not doing that. Don't call my mods names. That's not going to be tolerated here ever. You can come back, you can watch my videos and stuff like that, but if you can't be respectful, especially to my moderators, that they're the ones that keep this going. Second Amendment in Utah is very good. Yes, yes. We actually left the Pacific Northwest over that. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is this is something my grandparents taught. My grandpa was born in 1910. Think back how long ago that was. We are, it's almost been 116 years, 116 years. And he went through the Great Depression. He went through World War II, ration cards, recessions, the Cold War, all of those things. And you know what the number one thing he never prepped for? Y2K. What was that? He always said that. He was like, What was that?" Every single person should have an abundance of food in case you lose your job. Your job is never for certain. My moderators will answer as many questions as possible, and they are amazing. And they all prep in different aspects of life, which makes our crew so unique. What, Esteban? What? What is it? You're off to your friends tomorrow and you're going to try to convince them to turn their basement into a shelter. Also, your mods are doing an amazing job. They do a really, really good job. You're moving to Park City in June. That's amazing. Well, I hope you enjoy it there. It's absolutely beautiful. Quick question. Am I LDS? I grew up LDS. I left the church a long time ago. I still have a lot of respect for it, but I am Christian. My grandparents were LDS, and that was where I learned a lot of things. And now I still host canning classes with the LDS church to help teach this newer generation coming in how to can and preserve their own food. The Latter-day Saints. Yeah, you shouldn't tell other people what you have, but when you start finding people who are sparked interest the same as you that are like, "Yeah, I'm really worried about, like, potential store shelves being empty," you can always tell them like, "Hey, did you know that you can, like, preserve and mylar your rice and beans and flour to have 30-year shelf life?" Because I don't believe in knowledge hoarding. I think that my grandpa would be very angry with me if I chose to hoard the knowledge that he gave me and taught me as a child. Oh, Mark, I didn't know that. Shouldn't wait, shouldn't canning and jarring I hear that all the time. Shouldn't it be called jarring? Maybe. I was just always I've always called it canning. I'm looking for a silent generator, not so obvious. What should I look for? Jackery down in my links. They're having, I think, a 60% off sell. They got like a huge crazy sell. That is a solar generator. It's an inverter. And you want higher wattage if you're going to be running fridges or a lot more power. But they are very, very silent. I actually have one right here. I will go turn it on for you right now and tell me if you can hear it because it is so quiet. It is a great option for those of you that have never really thought about it. Did you hear it click on? It's on right now. That one is a 2000 plus 2000 plus, but I have the stackable 2000 expansion packs for it. I really do like the Jackery. They have some crazy cool deals. I'm always finding something different or new. Maybe canning came from putting it in the canner. Yeah, probably. We have several different wattages. Same. We have a 5,000 watt that I just ordered for here. It wouldn't do as great at the property because it gets so cold in the winter, but we can use it throughout the summer in the winter there. And they are actually now making them that can handle a lot negative temperatures a lot easier. It's so incredibly quiet. Welcome in, Levio. EcoFlow is great too. I don't own an EcoFlow, but my moderators love EcoFlow. Silent Cookie, have a wonderful night. Two gas. Ooh, Puckett says 2 gas generators and 1 Jackery. Let's go. That one always gets me. What's the best small Jackery for like hiking, camping, or solo? Ooh, okay. I would not want to hike or camp with the 300. That's what I use with my streaming equipment. It's not heavy, it's not unbearable, but I wouldn't want to do that long distance. What is the one that's smaller than it? There's one that's smaller and lighter weight, but I don't remember which one it is. But the 300, I mean, it's like a little brick. I am not the best at fermentation at all. Right now, my best is garlic and honey and sourdough. I was trying to fermentate apple cider vinegar and I kept screwing up. And so that's a skill that I'm constantly using. Depends on what you're trying to use when you're hiking and camping. Like what kind of power banks are you looking at? Corn mash. It just depends on what you would want to have as a smaller one. Now, if you're camping solo and you're driving to the camp spot, 300 is great. That's what I use when I'm streaming. But if I'm like hunting, I'll leave it back at camp and then I hike without it. So I just charge up at camp. Welcome in, Joey. Congratulations, my friend. When prepping, 1 is none, 2 is 1, diversity is key. Oof, that is key right there. Having a contingency for your contingency is so incredibly important. Ooh, a solar blanket. I don't have one of those yet. Marina, thank you. It was one of your lives that was listeners were helping me with the Blue Yeti. Yes. It does not include the solar panels suggestion. I would go onto their site for their panels. Some of those inverters are a little difficult to run with other solar panels. JASE case. Oh, that is a new prep skill. Tell me how you love it. So yes, you can do it like this. Now here is there's a little trick to this. And this is something that my grandma experienced. We did eat through our food storage on a regular basis. You can freeze your rice in the freezer, okay? But when you bring it out, please bring it out and leave it on your counter for at least a week. Every time you open up your freezer and close it, condensation can get inside of it. I would never ever Mylar it right away. You could get mold in it. There was an experience that my grandma had when I was very, very young. I remember it. We had pulled it out. We didn't leave it out as long as we should have. We packaged it all up in buckets, and there was a little bit of moisture, a little bit of condensation. 5, 6 years later, we went to use that bucket, opened it up, and immediately my grandma remembered the flaw. She remembered the flaw. Now, there's 2 ways you can do it. You do not have to freeze. Oxygen absorbers have been proven to work 2 scientific ways. You can do the freezing or you can do oxygen absorbers. Both are great. I'm still in the research part. Can't wait to experiment. I feel like that's how we were with the SpaghettiOs, canning SpaghettiOs. Would you consider owning 2 or more of the same vehicle so you can rob parts off the other? Like, ooh, never thought of it that way. That's actually genius. Maybe. I don't know if I could afford 2 of the same vehicles, but that's genius. Bobby, I have questions. I'm getting some Terminus vibes. A little bit of Terminus vibes. Jason's like, I'm just gonna throw this out there. We're not no terminus. Allie, I personally do it that way. I just store them in Mylar and put oxygen absorbers in them. You can do it different ways. There's a lot of different ways out there, but that's the way that's just super easy. There's no thinking to it. I open up a Mylar bag, throw all of the wheat berries in, and then I throw my oxygen absorbers in and then seal it. I saw the movie Alive, and I'm sure you all did too. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of different ones. Great question, Allie. All right, how many thumbs up are we up to in here? We got about 200 in here right now. I have questions. I have a few questions. You guys doing okay? I think we're down to like the last hour and 15 seconds, I think, on the J cell. So if you've been waiting on it and you don't want to save the $20, keep waiting. 66. Oh no, you guys got to do the thumbs up. 173. Mike says 173. Ooh, that's a great question. Fife says, who all in here has a huge garden planted and planned for this summer? I do. We have 2 locations. One's a neglected, one is a supervised, one's not neglected, the other one's neglected. I feel like I'm back in school. I know, Esteban. People will ask me, they go, what do you do for a living? And I was like, well, I make content, but I also host lives where I teach people. And they're like, and I'm coming up on my 20-year high school reunion this year. And one of the jokes is I got kicked out of class by a teacher and they said, you would never, ever talk for a living. Well, joke's on them. That's all I do is talk for a living. Setting up this year 100 feet by 300 feet, 30 raised beds. Wow. Oh, I love that. We've got quite a few raised beds now out at the property that have to be put together. But we're working on, I think it's 25 feet by 75 feet, just to see on the neglected part how much of it will survive this year. Triple the size. LAPD, thank you so much for the gift. I seriously appreciate it. What's your thoughts on the oil and oregano as a natural antibiotic for predictions of April 6th and the deadline? Ooh, okay. So I think herbalism is great as a preventative. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's an amazing thing for people to do and in tough times. However, that I would say I would trust having antibiotics also. Remember, we want a contingency for our contingency, right? So having oil of oregano and having antibiotics, you're taking the guessing work out. So if something happens and one is not working, you can fall back on the other. Now, what are my predictions on April 6th? I don't know. Currently, right now, Trump's going to speak tomorrow at like 9 p.m. And who knows what he's going to say. We're going to start a whole, I don't know, a series called Market Manipulation Monday, where I just post a thing. Am I still mad, Carson? No. I don't hold a grudge. Welcome back. They've already been hitting the water plants, power plants. There's a lot of really questionable things. He will say mission accomplished, you think? Same stuff? Yep, right there. Jordan said it. I do mostly herbal, but I still have a JASE case just in case. Whiskey Sadie, I feel like he's become a live streamer at this point. He talks a lot. But that's a lot of carnage. I mean, today he came out and said that their city couldn't be rebuilt, what, for 10 to 15 years? Their country? Our gas is $5.50 for diesel and $4.19 for unleaded, I believe. I don't think I want to read that comment out loud. I feel like that's just like bringing things up. Podcaster, occupied government. Oh my gosh, Jason. That is hilarious and straight to the point. Gun battle in Kansas down. Is there really? I watch it and I take notes. I listen for the quiet thoughts said out loud. He likes to go off script a lot. I have to plant a tree in my front yard because of the stupid HOA. So I'm going to do an apple tree so I can benefit from it. Good. Good for you. Do you think that they'll announce that troops are going to ground? Because it would be weird for them to say mission accomplished when today he already stated 2 to 3 more weeks. But it's a possibility. Nothing's impossible with this current administration and any other administration. I agree. I stand with what you say. Who's being weird? Mike's giving warnings. Don't test him. He's in an airport right now and he's already very irritated. Very nice, Joey. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm trying to read each thing. Just joined the live stream. I've been telling people to prepare for years and have been insulted, laughed at, and now everywhere is so expensive, scarce, and those morons are not laughing anymore. The crow, I feel like you just said the exact answer. Many people will criticize and complain, and then when it's not in their favor, there's a new trend right now on social media that's like, prepping like a crazy prepper without being a crazy prepper. They're talking about panic buyers. And unfortunately, they've lumped us into that category. And I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that that's not the category we are. We're always preparing. We're not walking in and buying 20 bags of 25-pound bags of rice. You know what I mean? We're going in every so often, picking up one, stack, repeat, stack, repeat. Ooh. Should we call it Threats Wednesday for the administration? That is true. Hasn't he given a threat almost every Wednesday? Hello, Ohio Valley Prepping. Welcome in. Welcome in. A lot of people don't take prepping serious. Make sure those same people don't attempt to loot your preps. Exactly. Yeah, I agree, Mike J. They would not be. I don't know what the end game would be. That's a deep question. Crystal, is there any possibilities you can sell your current home to the HOA or any member of it and let them deal with renting fees? So ours isn't like really an HOA. Like it's never really been managed for 10 years. It's just because we have a park and everybody here that's like moved on, they all rent their homes out and there's never been really an issue. All they do is just pay their fee. It's more of the grumpy neighbor we just recently got that's just more of a pain in the butt than anything. Still since his letter, it's been 4 months and I haven't seen nothing or heard nothing. But we will just be renting this out. I don't wanna sell it because first, I don't wanna take another mortgage. I would rather just rent it. This house is almost it's halfway, more than halfway paid off, and the interest rate is so incredibly low and the payments are so low. That comes with a lot of building, when people get their homes built. This area wasn't supposed to be one, and then the builders slipped it in at the very end, and unfortunately, but we lived in an HOA in Alaska, and it was one of the best places we've ever lived. They were not strict. We were allowed to have chickens. Everybody was allowed to have gardens, greenhouses. It's actually one of the oldest HOAs in the entire country, if you didn't know that. Not lower taxes. I pay a fucking shit ton on taxes. I'll tell you that. My area pays some of the highest property taxes in the state. Is definitely not lower. We all have pretty big lots and yeah. So in Alaska, what we did with ours is we just hosted like trick or treat in the heat is what we called it. It is for the Children's Hospital in Alaska, and we were able to fund pretty much like the Ronald McDonald houses for kids that are stuck at the hospital and their families have to stay there. If you guys don't know that about Alaska and Alaska's Children's Hospital, and I'll just give you a little tidbit on this. There is like one main hospital for children, and that is in Anchorage. And everyone else from all different villages, if you have a kid that's born with a heart defect or kidney defect, my daughter was born with a kidney defect and she had over 14 surgeries and we were pretty much living in the hospital, but it allows to help um, house people who have their children in the hospital. And so our HOA was really cool because we would do trick or treat in the heat. People would pay $10 for a wristband and we would fund a huge amount of it because we did end up having a child pass away in our neighborhood. Most HOAs are absolute pain in the butt, and I advise to stay away from them. Here, they haven't been active in 9 years. I believe 10 years means that they have to, like, if they don't have an acting board, it just disbands. Oh, what's going on in here? Christina, welcome, Christina. Christina says, to prepare is to prevent. You are all just delaying the inevitable. I have a question for everybody in the chat that was already prepared before the pandemic. Did you all die? Somebody in the chat, let me know. This is a Prepper Nation, radio station. Ooh, ouch. That sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Carson. Dang. Ooh, I like it. On another happy note, he started 200 veggie plants on New Germany. Well, you guys still have snow, don't you? So you have a little bit of time delay. Here we're like in a heat wave, which is crazy. Oh, the cold thingy, right? Ooh. My mom being a prepper was the only reason we had toilet paper. That's a good point. Ooh, that's rough, Carson. Yeah, the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful, but man, it does get overran by a lot of opinions. I'll say that. Rule number one, don't die. Yeah, I mean, we bought land. We're working on an off grid, so a lot of time you're gonna see like most of my content is filmed here, but once we start getting more established out at the property, we're gonna be out there. We have over 80 acres and we have just been going to it. There's always stuff that happens that can like set us back a couple weeks, but 80. 80. We just had an issue, Carson. It sucked. Um, it's completely undeveloped land, and it sucked because squirrels, Mike is in here. Squirrels got in. They chewed through the skirting on our camper and got up in, even with the slide closed in, up in to the camper, even though all of our piping and everything else was. They like gnawed like holes in, and we had an infestation, and I was working on cleaning it up, and I was live streaming on TikTok, and my son goes, "Mom, I found a baby mouse." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just go take care of it," right? Like a normal thing that can happen. It's in the middle of nowhere. And he was like, "It was in my sweatshirt." And he went like this with a sweatshirt, and baby squirrels went everywhere. They were squirrels, fucking squirrels. Squirrels. Oh, play a radio, keep them away. That might be a smart idea. At this point, I am not opposed to that. I could set up a jackery with some solar panels maybe and just run it off of that. Um, then I found the mom, she was dead. Then I found the dad, he was dead. Mike and his sweet wife came to the rescue, and we had a slumber party at their house, and then we came back to the camper. Mike is one of my moderators in here. That's one of the reasons why I said be respectful to Mike, because I will take Mike's side on anything. You irritate him, he's a real life friend to us. But squirrels are just nasty rats with a PR agent. So people think they're so cute. Mm. And another response, massacred the whole family. Yes, I did. Hungry little buggers for sure. So they were gracious enough to let us stay the night at their house. And then the kids felt a lot better. And then what we did is just, clean the whole thing out, shop vac it, set up traps, started filling in the holes. But I have to get back out there this weekend so that I can make sure that those holes stayed filled and that they didn't find a different way in. Because that is a source of shelter when we're out there. I stay out there and it's like negative 20 degrees in the winter. That shelter is very important to us while we start building the house. And we're not building a house. We ain't doing anything fancy, guys. We're just getting a manufactured home. I don't know who that is, Bobby. I don't know who a lot of people are on here. I'm just starting to meet people here. I've only been here for about a year. I did. I put them in a bag and I chucked them into a wood pile. How rude. What did I do, Michael? I can't do anything over here. I am just streaming from here. No more walks, no nothing. My mom told me we have too much toilet paper. That's crazy. I was worried about with my dogs because we did have bait out there, Carson, and I did not want my dogs to eat one of the rodents that had gone into the bait. Chris, why isn't oil $200 or higher? I don't think we're going to see that yet. I think that this is going to be a slow creep. There's also a lot of market manipulation. Tweets in the middle of the night saying, everything's going to be great. Everything's fine. They are cute, but they're destructive. Yeah, and they'll attack my wiring and everything. I just don't want to deal with it. When's the next stream? She bagged on the squirrels. I am looking for the actual clips. Oh, eat the squirrel. I'm not eating the squirrels, Michael. No, there was bait in there. That was poison. I'm looking for the clip of my son when he flung and the baby squirrels went everywhere. The look on my face, because I was on live stream, was straight panic. Is my husband back home? He's on his way. He was leaving Paris. They had a pretty big delay over there. They make manufactured barnuminiums. How is that possible? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. We want to do a barn dominium, but it takes a lot longer and we want to get off grid as fast as we can. Um, we're hoping by like March 2027 to be out there. Sarah just said it. 11 in one litter could have overran you so bad if you, I didn't. Yeah. I could hear them crawling in the bag and I was just like, oh my God, they got to go. I don't do rodents. Dirty little buggers. Yes, we did. Oh, yes, that night, somebody named Squirrely came in. It was hilarious. They were like, "What did you do to me?" Squirrel reunion is all well now. Yes, they all went to the same place. They did. You live in a module and they're built well. I grew up in one and I think that they're amazing. So I think they're perfect just the way it is. We want to do a shop, kind of like a barn dominium, but it's more of a shop. And that's where my office and filming space will be, where I can actually can in there, have our food storage that direction so that it's a lot easier um, instead of inside of our home. They are. They're absolutely amazing. I agree. And for the price, who wants to pay the price of building a home right now? Did you think about doing a Connex home? Yes, I have. I don't know if we could do it because of me and my husband's PTSD. We lived in a Connex overseas. Both of us lived in Connexes overseas. I think we would. I've seen them beautifully done where they are amazing and wonderful, and we've even thought about, we're like, okay, maybe we could do a tiny home with the Connexes, but because we lived in them and we got mortared in them quite often, like right next to them, I don't know how well we would do. One of our friends, Homestead Bunny, is actually going to be coming on the podcast. She lives in a Connex home. We've been friends since they started building and welding everything to their home, and she is clear up like over 10,000 feet elevation, living completely off grid, and we're just going to bring her in. I don't think I've ever been to City Creek Center ever, Esteban. I don't really go out much. Welcome in from North Carolina, US Navy anti-terrorism. Welcome in, Windy City. I do a podcast where it's not like it's on here. Um, but where it's two different styles of preppers. Some people manage, prepper communities, different things. So people can just get a different perspective. One thing that I'm very passionate about is I want the raw, the gritty, the building something from scratch, going through those trials, not coming from money to be able to do it. The what the average person is doing. And I feel like I have been able to really showcase just different preppers and different aspects of life, some in the UK, some of them, everywhere. And it just allows somebody to hear a different voice than just my own voice. Is new way less than half the price. Oh, I love that, Grover. Ooh, what do we think it's gonna be up to? You're a prepper from Bulgaria. That's amazing. Thanks for being in here. Have I ever thought about putting a podcast on a Spotify? I actually have. I don't know how to do that on here. The way I stream right now, there is actually like I can get the audio recording, so that might be a possibility. Sweat equity makes you appreciate. I agree, Mike. Like building gates or putting up, the fences or doing different things, it just makes you appreciate what you have instead of just seeing it like appear. He did GP. He's awesome. When folks have zero preps, what happens to them? Um, they perish. That's one of the reasons why I like to grow and preserve my own food. I think it's a great way for you to, I think homesteading just elevates things. One of my biggest dreams is to get acreage and then go to Coachella Valley and buy my grandparents' double wide trailer to live in while building. Ooh, yes, that's a great idea. I mean, I took all my social media. Other people were doing crazy things with what they were making on TikTok, and I just bought acreage. That's what I did. I was like, you know what? I want something that could be great. And Mike J actually was in here with his wife. Met me down as I was inspecting one of the properties. I had seen like 30 different properties. Everyone had just like different, flaws in it. And they came and met us out. Don't say that. I would one day like to be invited on Joe Rogan's. Just one day. One day. One of these days. He is awesome. He is absolutely awesome. And he was spot on. His report was really, really good. They try to become looters and end up True, Thomas. Thomas said it. Oh, okay. You're a podcaster and you use Studio app from Google Play, and now you have over 60 downloads. That's awesome. Thanks for that information. I'm going to take a picture of that because my brain will not remember that. How important is a greenhouse for plants in the summer? Not as important. Greenhouses serve such a great purpose in the fall, the winter, and the summer, or in the spring. The summer in my area, if you live in a colder area, my friends in Alaska, when we lived in Alaska, we had a greenhouse. We used it all year round. But in Utah, it's too hot. They don't thrive. They don't thrive as well. For me personally. Now, if you're in a different area, they may thrive. I do have a small greenhouse that I just got so I can start transplanting these outside so that I can get my next wave started. I agree. Our world is about to forever change and we need to start preparing now. I think it's so incredibly important that people prep. We haven't seen the tightening from this supply chain being cut off. All the preps will be useless if we don't have the skills. Oh, yes. Skills are so important. If you can't afford to prep, you can work on skills. Skills are great. Boils in the summer. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys, it is getting late. It's almost 1 a.m. on the East Coast, and it is 11:10 p.m. here. So I am going to get off of here for tonight. If you were still thinking about your JASEs, I would do it today because they're going to be that extra $10 off will be gone tomorrow morning. And I am going to go get some rest, relax, hang out with my dogs, have a snack. But I hope you guys are continuing to prep. Looking forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. Repetition is the mother of skill. Yes, Brian. We got to end on Brian's note right there. Repetition is a mother of a skill. It is. That is one of the reasons why we just do what we do and we constantly do it. Don't dabble into that prepper burnout because prepper burnout sets you further behind. And that's when people start to panic and they're like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. But as always, stay aware, stay prepared, and always have your head on a swivel. I have to be up very early in the morning. The time difference between here and the UK, I'm going to have to wake up at like 4 a.m. Hello from Greece for that interview so that I'm awake and alert and ready to go. So wish me luck for tomorrow, and I hope it turns out good. Hopefully I don't say anything dumb. All right, you guys have a good one.
In the ashes of the end rises the Doomsday Queen.